Hey, what's going on, guys? Wow, it's kind of dark in here, isn't it? I feel like I should open this window more. I got a window over here. I'm gonna open this guy up, see if that helps. Let there be light. You guys hear me okay? If anyone comes in, which I don't expect because I haven't uploaded in like 2 years to this channel, but let me know if you guys can hear me. I could pull it up on my phone, right? And I could tell from that. I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, I think it works. I'm going to trim out this beginning. Anyway, I'm just going to make a quick, voice is clear. Thank you, SG. Appreciate that. So how's it going, guys? I made the whole title of this stream, Feeling Stuck, because quarantine has just got me in this weird rut. This weird anti-routine is what I'm going to call it. Because I had a routine, okay? I had a routine. Then quarantine happened. Something about a virus, I don't know. And now, I don't know. I just feel like it's hard to get back into a re-routine. Because it started, and let me know in the comments if you're watching this, like if you're feeling anything similar to this at all, or how things have been for you. But for the first 2 months, I was just here, literally in my house for 2 months because we couldn't leave. Nothing was really open, and I was basically just working from home on my laptop, my work laptop. So, I mean, and I'm talking spiritually here too, because I was doing good back then. Like I had a Bible study, I had a bunch of peers that I would like hang out with, and we'd talk about things like our faith and how it's going and our walk with God, and we'd encourage each other. We had like this whole camaraderie going, and everything was great. and then I literally haven't talked to anyone from church in probably 6 months. And that's on me. I guess I could reach out to them, but I always saw them at church. So it was like, no matter what happened, no matter how crazy things got, at least I would see him at church on Sunday. And then on, Wednesday night, Monday night, we would go and do Bible study. And then after that, we'd hang out. We'd go to like the movies, or we'd go to like get ice cream or do something. You know what I mean? And it was fun. And you could like hang out with other people who shared your beliefs and your faith and stuff like that. And then I haven't had that for a really long time. And I'm kind of mad at myself for letting that slip. Like normally I was pretty good about my quiet time, like at least reading a little bit of the Bible every day, or reading my verses, like some of my memory verses and stuff like that, or listening to some Christian music. But, it's been real minimal lately, and it like slowly tapers off, I feel like. And I've noticed it recently where, I've been streaming my church service online. And lately I haven't even been doing that as much as I should. And when I do, it's kind of like in the background, and I'll like do something else. Like I'll like wash the dishes or something like that. And so this whole stream here is more for me just to get this off my chest about how I feel like my whole spiritual routine kind of got like jacked up, which, probably happens to a lot of people. But I would really like to do something on here, on Gen 180, just to get myself back into a routine. So whether there's anyone that joins me or not, it's more for me because I feel like I need community, and I need to be able to just do something with my faith as opposed to just trying to do it by myself, which I feel like faith was never intended for that. I think Jesus knew that back in the day. That's why he always stressed community, and that's why he always was around other people, and he loved people. He surrounded himself with 12 of his closest, and they changed the world. But anyway, that's just a little rant for me. I just felt a little bit down spiritually. Otherwise, things have been good. You know what I mean? Like some of my friends that I still hang out with, like from college, I'll go and I'll hang out with them. We hung out last weekend. We had a good time. I just feel like spiritually, it's been more mild. I feel like I've had less activity in my life, and I feel it too. I definitely feel it. I don't know if any of you guys are feeling the same thing during this quarantine, or how it's been affecting you. If you're subscribed to this channel, which the 4 people watching right now probably are, because those are the only people who are going to get notified that the stream's on, then you probably are Christian, or at least spiritual. and you consider yourself spiritual. And I was just really curious how you guys have been doing with the quarantine. So if you're watching this live, or if you're watching this after it's already been aired, I'm going to read your comments and I'm going to see how it's going with you guys, because I'm curious. And it's been a really long time since I uploaded on the channel. And that was almost an okay thing for me, because before quarantine, I was doing really good spiritually, in my own opinion. I felt like I was like feeling more close to God. I felt like I had a really good community of friends and everything like that. But it's been tough post-quarantine. So I was just talking to a friend at work, actually, who's also a Christian. And I was asking him how it was going. And he told me the exact same thing. He basically was like, dude, everything you're telling me is exactly what I've been feeling. And I'm like, thank you for saying that. I felt like I was alone in this, but maybe I'm not. Anyway, his name's Bryant. And I was going to ask him if maybe later on this week, we could just get on a live stream together and kind of talk about these things. He's been really into Proverbs lately, so I think that's kind of cool. We could like talk about some Proverbs and stuff like that, but it could be literally anything. It doesn't have to be anything specific. I think it's just really important to stay engaged with it, or else it can kind of fizzle out. But anyway, if you guys have any ideas for different things to look at, whether it's books of the Bible or different topics, definitely let me know in the comments, because I'm looking for ideas for sure. Like there's been times where some of my favorite books that I've ever looked at, the Book of John, is just so fun just to go through. I feel like that's an easy one to go into with just about anyone from any amount of walk, and then Timothy is great and things like that. You're definitely not going to start like on Revelations or anything like intense like that, or like Songs of Solomon. You kind of probably got to stay away from Songs of Solomon in the beginning. I guess that's more for like what the design is supposed to be in marriage and things like that. You read that privately late at night with a glass of wine. But I'm thinking we go through Proverbs, and that would be a cool place to start, because I feel like whether you're spiritual or not, that's something cool everyone can kind of relate with, like the wisdom that Solomon has in Proverbs. It's just so dope. Let me pull up one right now. The thing is, when I look at Proverbs, I have to stop after like half a chapter, because it's just too much. It's so much to like unpack, and it's so much to just like think about and process. You just have to like stop and just really go through it and digest it. Rosemary, what's good? Hey, it's good to see your face. I've never commented before, but I was just thinking about you and thought wished you were back. So hey, thank you. Well, it's crazy you were just thinking about me. I was literally just popped in my head. I don't think about YouTube that much anymore, but it just popped in my head today. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go on Gen 180, and I'm just going to tell everyone how I've been feeling. Even if it's not super positive, I feel like it's important to be honest and get it out. But anyway, yeah. Nathalie, what's good? It has been a while. It has been quite a while. I didn't expect people to come on here. Krista, what's good? Yo, it has been a minute and a half. It has been a minute and a half. How are you doing? Well, I'm good. I am good. The reason I made this video and I called it, what did I even call it? Oh my goodness, my brain is so dead. I just got back from work, guys. That's why I'm like wearing like a collar. Like I don't normally just like decide to wear a collar, but I was talking about how I just felt stuck spiritually. Be honest, I don't like admitting my faults, like when I'm not doing well. It's easy to toot your own horn. You'd be like, yeah, blessed by the best, doing great, just got a new job and just starting to date someone. But then when like something goes like not good, you don't really want to share that with the world. But I feel like that's when you should share it, right? Because it's important to be talking about these things and process it. And I wouldn't say I'm doing terribly spiritually. I just feel like it hasn't been very engaging, because I can't go to church because there's the shutdown, the quarantine. So I don't think church is even allowed to be open because it's too many people in one place. And I think there's different laws depending on the state, but most states, the churches are closed. My church certainly is. I don't know how you guys are doing. Like, how's quarantine going in your areas? Are you getting affected by it at all, or do you really not care? Like in the beginning, I did not care at all. I got to be honest. Like in the beginning, I was like, sweet, I get to stay home more often. This is great. I'm an introvert, naturally. So I didn't really mind it at first. And it kind of snuck up on me. I'm going to be honest. Like it really did sneak up on me because I was like, okay, no big deal. I'll just stream Sunday service. I'll just watch church online instead of just doing it in person like I normally do. No big deal. I've done that before. But after about 2 months, it really started to hit where I was like, this is not the same. And this is not the way it's supposed to be. And like, when's the last time I read my Bible? I have no idea. No clue. I couldn't remember. And so it just started weighing on me. And what is it now? I think it's like six months since lockdown. Nathalie says, well, in Sweden, we haven't really had a complete lockdown. Yo, you guys are killing it over in Sweden. Like, honestly, like I've been hearing about y'all in the news and how well you guys have been doing with the whole quarantine. Like the whole world is like, what is Sweden doing and how do we do it? Sweden is doing really well, I think. You didn't have a complete lockdown. I think what Sweden did, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys had more of like a partial thing where you protected the sick and the elderly and then everyone else kind of went about their business, right? Or I'm paraphrasing. I could be so wrong on that. But from what I read in the news, apparently Sweden was one of the more successful places in terms of being able to control their spread of the virus. So that's good. But anyway, that's it. I was just going to talk about that. But if you guys have any ideas in terms of like ideas for this channel, I'm all ears because I'm struggling on the ideas part. But I do want to do something, not just for the sake of it, but just for myself. I think it would be really good for me to be able to get back into this and start, finding a community again, because I can't talk to my community here in Maryland, in the US. Wendy says churches in Michigan. Oh, where is it? Okay. Got it. Michigan are exempt. Some are open, others are closed. We have some that attend, but we put things online for those who are unable to attend and not comfortable with it. That makes sense. So you have both. And I feel like, I gotta be honest, like just for me personally, I feel like that's the way it should be. If you really want to stay home, you should be allowed to stay home. But if you want to go in person and risk it, I feel like you should risk it for the biscuit. You should be allowed to do that. Anyway, so Michigan, I like the way you guys are doing things in Michigan. So Krista says, I feel you. I felt so stuck for the last 5 months here in Finland. It's not too bad, but we need to be at home when we don't need to go somewhere. Makes sense. Like if you're not doing something specific, like the grocery store or getting your hair cut, you got to be home. And that's kind of the way it is here, but you're right. I don't know another way to put it other than I feel stuck. Like I feel like my routine kind of just got stuck and just like ground to a halt. And I'm like, okay, now what? I got to find a new routine because I don't know when this is going to go away. This is probably going to be a thing for a while, easily into 2021, So even after we get a vaccine, like let's say that comes out tomorrow, the amount of logistics to get that to everyone, it's going to be a while. My whole point is I think this is going to be quite a while type of thing. So I'm trying to figure out how can I do this now? How can I stay active in my faith and in community and things like that with all of this nonsense outside, It's crazy. Brooke says Sweden was okay at the beginning, but eventually got way worse after a couple of months. Oh, really? Man, that's crazy. Way worse. I wouldn't say that. Okay. So it depends on what news you read, because if you read news that's more left-leaning, like CNN and MSNBC, they'll all say Sweden's terrible. They've done a terrible job with that. And I'm not trying to get political with this channel, but it depends what news source you look at. But if you look at more like Fox News or The Independent or, the New York Post, all these more right-leaning, they love Sweden because it's sort of an example of a country who didn't have as harsh of restrictions. And comparatively to other countries, they did very, very well. Still lots of infections and still lots of deaths, but comparatively they did very well. So it depends on what your opinion is. And nowadays news is pure opinion. But that's why I think it's important to read both sides. CNN is as left as you can go and Fox is as right as you can go. And so what I do is I downloaded both those apps and I get push notifications from both. And it's actually kind of fun to watch it because they like jump back and forth, like Trump is a hero. Trump is Satan. Trump is amazing. Trump is Hitler. And it jumps back and forth. And I'm just watching this, like scrolling on my phone. Like it's like a reality TV show. I get enjoyment from it. I don't know. It's just a thing. SG says churches in India are also closed. Situation got worse here as well. I heard about that. India. And like, didn't you guys jump to like number 2 in terms of like the worst country infection rate over the US? Like US is like, we got hit the hardest. And that it was Brazil, I think, number 2, and then might be India, or we're in the top 5 at least, all of our countries. Churches are closed in India. Okay. Yeah, and I think that's most people right now. Nathalie says, sure, school started again everywhere and almost everything is opening up. So, of course, it will seem like there are more cases of COVID. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, everything opens back up. So, more cases. Joyce says, oh, what's up, Joyce? Been a while. Hey, Josh, I got work in 20 minutes, so I can't stay on the stream, but good to see you again. Take care. It's good to see you, too. It's good to see familiar faces. This is making me feel so much better. I'm glad I did this. This is such a good idea. I was not going to do this, but I was like, you know what, Josh? You have not been on community. You have not been engaged in community in a very long time. The only people I see are like the 2 people I interact with at work. And that's only twice a week. So that's not good. I need to be in community more, especially spiritually, because I've not been so great in that area after quarantine. I'm just admitting that. And that's why I've been feeling a little bit stuck. And that's why I'm doing this live stream. Krista Hahn, I've actually been thinking of quitting school and starting an online art shop and leaving Finland soon. Yo, that sounds cool. It's the only idea, which has given me so much inspiration in the whole year, actually. That's awesome. Because I feel like with the internet and everything, like Etsy and things like that, you can do that. You could start an Etsy store with postings and a landing page in under an hour. If you just have a smartphone, you just download Etsy or like anything. There are other apps, obviously. You can start an eBay store. In the US, you could do a Craigslist ad, whatever you want to do. But Etsy, I love because I'm on there all the time. And I've talked to so many artists and I've bought so much stuff on Etsy. I never thought I would, but I feel like it's the perfect spot for artists that are getting started because it doesn't matter if you've got 1 trillion reviews or not. Like I buy things depending on what kind of stuff they have, and it's all one of a kind. What kind of art did you want to do? That's really dope. And why leave Sweden? I heard Finland, rather. Why leave Finland? Would you want to come to the US? America number 1. North or south or central? You almost need both sides of news just to figure out what is happening. I agree, Wendy. You do need both sides. But I would say this, even after just watching CNN and Fox kind of go back and forth and say completely opposite things, I feel like even those extremes are missing the middle. They're missing the middle. And it is so hard to find unbiased news these days. Very hard. So I think that the answer is kind of the difficult one, which is to kind of read everything, which is hard to do, really hard to do. There's a few sources out there that claim to be more independent. There's one called The New Paper, the NEW, New, The New Paper. And that one's pretty good in terms of being unbiased. But again, there's going to be people who say that they're biased. So maybe they're biased about them being biased. It's so hard to find the truth these days in politics. Really difficult, and I feel like we need it more than ever right now with how much division there is. Whatever side of the spectrum politically you're on, everyone knows we're more divided than ever. And that's why I think it's so important to be spiritually active. Otherwise, we're just going to lose our minds. We could start I know people that used to be friends that aren't friends anymore because of politics. That's not good. That's not good. So I feel myself getting affected by it sometimes with some of the things I read online. It just makes me angry. And then I watched, what was that thing trending on Netflix? It was like the number 1 thing on Netflix for a while. The Social Dilemma. Was it The Social Dilemma or whatever? So good. It was a documentary. It was a movie. Basically, talking about how these different social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, they're targeting you and only giving you things that will give you the most engagement. So if you really are into left-leaning politics, they only give you liberal stuff. And if you're right-leaning, they only give you right things. And they never show you the other side. So you end up just getting this echo chamber of your own ideas, and you end up coming to incorrect conclusions no matter what side you're on. And I was like, holy cow, I think some of those things have happened to me before. So I'm trying to be more careful about that. But that's why it's so incredibly important right now to be in community like we're doing right now, because I could say something that I think is right because I've been seeing it all week on my phone. And then you guys could be like, Josh, did you actually see this? This just came out the other day. And I'll be like, no, because they're not giving me that. So we need to be in community. I need people to disagree. We need to have conversation. And I think that's more important than ever. But Mikasa, what's up? In Greece, churches are open now, but people wear masks and keep distance. So some stay outside because there's not enough space. That makes sense. Because if you got to keep that distance, a room that could usually hold 500 people can probably only hold maybe 100. So everyone just goes into the overflow. But hopefully you guys can at least stream it. Like, do you guys still stream it? Like live stream it? Let's see, Nathalie says earlier, only 50 people were allowed to be in the same place, but now they're allowing almost 500. Oh, wow. Okay. Got it. So that's Sweden then. They're allowing 500. So that's pretty significant. They're allowing 500 people. That means you can now do weddings, you can do funerals, you can do these larger events, medium-sized church gatherings, depending on what you consider medium. Krista Hahn says, I'm actually doing all kinds of art. Yes, I love my home country, but I just feel like I need to see the world. I understand that. I feel the same way. I'm thinking of visiting Alaska, Korea, etc. I feel like I'm a world traveler by heart. Hey, if that's how you feel, I say go for it. And that's one of the cool things is like we're so incredibly blessed to have all of the technology we have where it's possible. It's very possible to be an independent artist and selling your stuff online, which gives you the full freedom to go anywhere you want in the world, because you don't need to be in one place, unless you got like a workshop and that's in a physical location, but that could change too. Nathalie, that's why I don't use social media so much. That's a smart move. And I need to dial it back a little bit because I find it's a bad problem. Like I find myself, constantly on Instagram, just scrolling through Instagram. And I'm like, what am I doing? And I keep catching I'll put my phone down, like, all right, that's it, put it down. And then literally like, I don't know what happens. Like I must black out completely because the next thing I know, I'm just scrolling on it. And I'm like, what happened? I put that down. But it's so addictive and they're good at it. And I end up probably buying things that I don't need, getting opinions that aren't necessarily factual, and not being very happy. When did social media like really hit? Because it's 2020 and it's fully infiltrated our lives. But I think it started hardcore in like 2009-ish. Like it was around a little bit before that, but I think 2009 was when it really, really hit. And it's not good. It's not good at all. That's when mental illness like skyrocketed. Depression and suicide rates all spiked in 2009. And I don't think that's a coincidence that that's when social media started hitting. But I guess this is technically social media, isn't it? Like, we got to turn it off, guys. Turn it off. No, it's not right. It's all right. I'm deciding that this form of social media in this context is okay. But I could be biased. Nah, I'm playing. Anyway, if you guys are watching this live or later on when you guys are watching this, please let me know in the comments below any ideas that you have for this channel, because I've been drawing a little bit of a blank. If you guys haven't noticed, I haven't been on YouTube very much lately. But specifically, I decided not to upload to my main channel and just upload on this channel on Gen 180 because I really wanted to get more active in the community spiritually. I wanted a reason to like open the Bible and start reading through things and discussing it with people. Because I used to do that in my Bible study, but we haven't met in 6 months. And I haven't heard about any of the Bible studies going online or anything. So I'm making my own. That's what we're doing now. I don't know what the frequency is going to be, but we'll figure it out. So if you have any ideas of like passages to go through or anything like that, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just pick something. I'm going to go through it. If you guys want to jump on and join me, that'd be awesome. If not, you can always watch it later or not. It's up to you. But thanks, guys, for like jumping on. It's been 25 minutes. I did not expect anyone to jump on. This is really cool. Really appreciate you guys coming on. You know, warms my heart. But I'm going to let you guys go here. I don't want to go super, super long, but I'm going to go back on here soon. And the next time I'm on here, we're going to be going through some stuff. We're going to be like reading. We're going to be discussing. We're going to be sharing. That's what I want. I think that'd be helpful. And it seems like I'm not the only one who's felt a little bit stuck spiritually. Anyway, you guys have a great rest of your morning, evening, or day. And I will see you guys in the next stream. God bless.